Hello, I'm John Bachman. Welcome to Newsmax TV. Right now we're talking with Blake Farenthold. He's a member of the House Oversight Committee. And Congressman, we're talking about this just released memo coming from your Chairman Darrell Issa about this Fast and Furious gun walking scandal. The memo calls for contempt charges to be filed against Eric Holder. This document has been in the works, of course, for a little while. Talk to us about why it's coming out today.
Well, we've been more than patient with the Department of Justice, giving them time to conduct their internal investigation and turn over the requested documents to the House Government Oversight and Reform Committee. And they have stonewalled us at every turn. Sometimes it's just, you got to say enough is enough. Get us the documents or else.
Well, this, holding administration officials at this level in contempt is rare but not unprecedented, of course. Tell us why you think this is the right course of action.
Well, they won't cooperate otherwise. We've given them every opportunity. Look, you've got an administration in now that actually I think is completely contemptuous of Congress all the way up to the president. But we're dealing with specific instance here of the Department of Justice not turning over thousands of pages of documents relating to the death of a Border Patrol agent, allowing over 2,000 guns to go from the United States into Mexico in violation of both the United States and Mexican law, and nobody is willing in the Justice Department to work with us. They go after anybody who is a whistleblower. They stonewall at every turn. It's absolutely unacceptable behavior from one branch of government to the other. It's Congress's job to keep an eye on the other agencies and the workings of the entire government. It's our constitutional duty.
You said President Obama has been contemptuous as well. Give us one example of what you mean by that.
Well, look, the president is contemptuous of the Supreme Court in the comments that he's made with respect to how dare they even consider holding Obamacare unconstitutional. We passed a law that he signed defunding 3 of his czars, and they're still there. He's working around Congress at every turn. He's using his executive agencies. I'm in Texas. The EPA, for all practical purposes, declared war on the oil and gas industry in Texas, issuing new regulations without going through Congress or working with us at all. He's using the regulatory agencies to pass laws that Congress won't.
Let's get back to focusing on Eric Holder for a second, and I do appreciate your comments there. But, his office, of course, contends that they are complying with these requests. They are sending over documents. But specifically, what do you think that he is keeping from the American public and Congress?
Well, they're refusing to turn over any documents after a certain date where the investigation began. And let me tell you, I believe that more often than not, the violations of the law and the inappropriate behavior, it's the cover-up that gets you every time. So in addition to slow-rolling and stonewalling with respect to turning over early documents involving the investigation, they're not turning over any documents related to how it was handled. Originally they denied knowledge, and, oh, yeah, we had some knowledge, and, oh, well, it was a good operation. Oh, no, it was an ill-conceived operation. How did this work? We're looking to oversee how this agency is managed. Are they doing what's right for the American people? Are they good stewards of the American people, American taxpayers' money? And quite frankly, in this case, if you look at how Fast and Furious operated, do they have a lick of common sense?
Well, that's a good question to pose there, and I want to ask you specifically about something that Congressman Darrell Issa put into his briefing paper accompanying the draft complaint. He said, quote here, why, after all, would anyone be so stupid as to think arming drug cartels was a good idea? That's what Congressman Issa asked. How is it possible that such a badly thought of scheme would ever have gotten any kind of green light from any official?
Well, there are a couple of options as I see it. One, there's some incompetent folks there. The other, more scary one for me is was there any sort of agenda associated there? One of the results of Operation Fast and Furious was a change in regulatory scheme where, without an act of Congress, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms now requires gun dealers in border states to file reports on multiple sales of certain types of weapons. So if I were to go out and buy my wife and 2 daughters a long gun, I would be reported as a possible drug straw buyer. So we're taking away people's Second Amendment rights by executive fiat. Was this the plan all along? I mean, I think that's something the American people need to know.
Out of the two things you just mentioned, the possible incompetence or the possible agenda, which one do you personally think is more likely?
In my opinion, I think there was agenda. You go back to quotes early on in this administration, don't let a good crisis go to waste. And it's not a very big step for, well, let's create a crisis.
All right. Well, holders of supporters, of course, and that means a lot of Democrats, might question the timing of this entire process and say it's a distraction used to negatively affect President Obama's reelection campaign. What do you say to those folks?
If we were going to do that, we would have waited till October. This is about getting to the bottom of this.
All right. And do you think that President Obama would be best served if he just nipped this whole thing in the bud and replaced Eric Holder right now? Would that be enough for you and for the House Oversight Committee?
At this point, I'm not prepared to say whether or not I would think that that's enough. I think Eric Holder should have resigned early on. You look at what happened to the administrator of the GSA. She stepped down immediately. You look at how quickly the Secret Service has handled the issues in Colombia. Government can move and work faster than this, and the slow rolling and the delays do nothing but raise suspicion that this may even go beyond Mr. Holder.
And so let me rephrase the question then. Do you think that if Holder does decide to step down, that this investigation will move forward?
I think the political pressure will increase to stop it if Holder steps down, but I'm going to want to continue to see if this went even beyond Mr. Holder.
All right, very good. Congressman Blake Farenthold, a member of the House Oversight Committee, talking to us today from his home district in Texas. Thank you very much for your time, Congressman.
My pleasure.